I haven't really thought about the future. I think about it, about what I want to be when I grow up, but then I realize it'll never happen. I sometimes dream of becoming a doctor. I even used to dream of becoming a lawyer, but my mama says that means going to college. But my mama says we can't afford college. So I guess I just hang around here and get some kind of job. I don't know. I just don't like to think about it.
An uncertain future, deferred dreams, and numerous disappointments. It's the unfortunate fate of hundreds of boys and girls living in Charlotte Housing Authority communities. They oftentimes come from a single-parent household with an average income of about $8,000, where having enough money for food and clothing is a daily challenge, and where money for a college education is unthinkable. But it's not impossible. John Crawford is a living example of how care, concern, and commitment can change lives. In 1982, Crawford got a phone call that changed his life.
Hello. A young man called me and he said, "Mr. Crawford, I need $300 to be able to go back to school." And he was a senior rising senior at Winston-Salem State University. And I said, "Victor, what kind of grades do you have?" He says, "I have a 3.4 average in urban studies." I said, "We'll find the money." It was a realization that there were just a number of young people out there who had the ability, had the desire, and just didn't have the money. And I knew I had to do this.
What Crawford did was arrange for the young man to get a loan from a local businessman. The payoff? That young man graduated with honors in urban affairs. And it motivated Crawford to recruit other community leaders to join in his mission to give a youth a chance. Former Charlotte Observer publisher Rolf Neal was one of the fund's early supporters.
It was the walking video, John Crawford, a monomaniacal man on a mission. And John told about the needs, and I got excited and joined him. My major regret is we didn't raise more money faster to get more young people into college.
Now, nearly 2 decades since its inception, the Charlotte Housing Authority Scholarship Fund has changed the lives of more than 300 children living in public housing. Their futures are brighter, their dreams achieved. The annual scholarships have assisted youth in attending more than 60 different colleges and trade schools, including Montez Sizer and Rochelle Chisholm. Sizer got his PhD in clinical psychology from the University of South Carolina, and now directs a program in Charlotte for at-risk youth. Chisholm got her MBA after graduating from Queens College, and now works for one of Charlotte's major banks. Both say the scholarship fund altered their fates.
I saw many older people in the community working hard, exhibiting proper values to young people who lived here. But on the flip side, I saw people shooting drugs, I saw people hopeless, and as a consequence of seeing all those kinds of things, I had mixed emotions about what my prospects were in life. I saw people talking about young people, but yet, again, not providing any solutions.
Actually, life in general was pretty pleasant, basically from the environment that my mother provided. And I guess up until that time, she focused a lot on education and pretty much, told me as I was growing up that getting an education was the best chance for getting a good education was the best chance that I would have to have a better life in order to move out of public housing. I basically concentrated on getting good grades in school, so I knew that after high school that college was going to be my next step. But there was one little problem with that. Based on our family income, because being in a single-parent home, I knew that there was no way that she was going to be able to afford college for myself or my other siblings.
But the care, concern, and commitment from countless individuals, businesses, churches, foundations, and other groups changed their fates, changed their future. And it was the desire to help change young people's lives that got John Richards involved 15 years ago. Richards is now chairman of the Scholarship Fundraising Committee.
What I found so compelling personally was the enormous disparity with respect to the kinds of challenges and hurdles these young students are having to deal with in high school and college in contrast with my own experience. It just seemed to me that the least I could do was to become involved financially to try to help a little bit with some scholarship funds for young students who wanted to go to school in hopes that might help end the cycle of poverty.
And I got really excited because I knew that I would have to have more resources while I was away to still help them survive. And so while at Pfeiffer, not only was I there on an academic scholarship, but I also had 2 additional jobs in addition to receiving the scholarship fund, because I was helping sustain my mother with rent. I had to provide clothes for my sister and my mother and food and so forth. So the scholarship fund took a lot of that financial burden for me.
Living in a single income parent, in a single parent home, the financial aid, scholarships, and even with college work study, it was still financially impossible for me to go to college.
These are just some of the Charlotte Housing Authority success stories, but there are numerous others. And there are just as many other children waiting, hoping, praying that someone will help them change their futures and help them achieve their dreams.
It's good for our community, it's good for our city to see young people have the opportunity who would not otherwise have the opportunity for an education, because these kids become productive citizens, taxpayers who make a difference.
Be a part of a program that is making a difference. The Charlotte Housing Authority Scholarship Fund is the only one of its kind in the country. The fund exists solely through contributions of individuals, businesses, and organizations who recognize that education is the key to a young boy or a girl's success in life.
Contributing to the Charlotte Housing Authority Scholarship Fund is important because it gives children just like myself who grew up in public housing an opportunity that they otherwise would not have, the opportunity to go to college, to get a good education, to subsequently get a job, and all of those things means that they become independent, they have a better life.
Essentially, the scholarship fund is about life and death, hope and opportunity. It's that particular added advantage for those kids who are trying and struggling hard in the midst of all kinds of obstacles.
There are many young people in this community who have the desire, who have the ability, but just don't have the resources to change their lives. And with the help of people in this community, we can change the lives of these children. We can help them become good employees. We can help them become productive citizens. We can make a difference in the life of Charlotte, North Carolina.
You know that we get results. You just look at it in the lives like you've seen in this video, for Rochelle or for Montez, and for literally more than 300 people like them who have succeeded where they wouldn't have had the chance.
And all it takes is a little care, concern, and commitment on your part to make a difference. Please help these children realize their dreams. Change a child's future. Give a youth a chance.